I don't do very many financial based videos on this channel, but I came across a study by JP Morgan that I just thought I had to share with you. And it's all about the differences about retirement spending, about things we've heard for years and years and years and years that might actually be wrong, or at least according to this latest study. Now, you probably all heard the advice: plan for 70 to 80% of your pre-retirement income. You need at least $1 million, budget carefully, keep spending steady. Well, this major study by JP Morgan Asset Management says otherwise. I will post the link to it in the comments so you can take a peek for yourself. But in fact, they found 3 big surprises in how real people actually spend their money in retirement. So today I'm going to walk you through them. They're clear, simple, and a few tips along the way to help you to prepare. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Maureen Dobransky, and this is Life Starts at Retirement. My typical videos are about retirement lifestyle and how to make your retirement remarkable. But this is a little bit more on the financial advice, and it was really too good not to share. So let's dive in. Most people assume that retirement spending stays about the same every year, but increases with inflation. In fact, I've watched so many videos, video after video after video, where the financial planner simply increases your financial plan by the rate of expected inflation until you die. But the data from this study from JP Morgan tells a very different story, and that it's actually a curve that happens. So it starts high in the early years when you're active, when you're traveling, when you're checking things off your bucket list, and then it gradually declines through your 70s and 80s as life slows down. But of course, it's not always the same for everyone. There's twists and turns, and each person's one. The biggest twist that we always think about is the healthcare challenges or healthcare spending as you age. So although your total spending might drop as you age, specific categories, especially healthcare, can rise. So this just means that your retirement plans needs to be more than just a flat line budget. It needs a little bit more of that flexibility. Now, I have a video about your go, slow go, and no-go years that really explains this a little bit better. I'll link that in the comments. So the surprise number 2 about from this JP Morgan study was that retirement isn't necessarily all or nothing. And this is fairly recent. I'm going to say within the last 10 to maybe 20 years that people, when they retire, don't necessarily now work for the same company for 40, 45 years, and then poof, one day they're gone. This study found that over half of U.S. households are what they call partially retired. So that means they've left their full-time work behind. They still earn some income, maybe part-time income, consulting, side hustles, and something. So they're still having a part-time income. Now, this is where I am. I left corporate Canada in 2007. I went out on my own as a mortgage broker, worked really, really hard, worked full-time for years and years, but I was out on my own. Today, I still do private lending. I don't do much anymore, but I still do private lending. I have a group of individuals that I work with. I have this YouTube channel, and I speak on cruise ships as a destination or a cultural insights speaker. So I'm one of those although I'm in Canada, but I'm one of those households that still earns income from a part-time income source. But here's the kicker. These households, just like mine, tend to spend more. Especially for some reason, especially if they earn under $150,000 a year. Now, why would that be? Why would these households tend to spend more? And I think it's simply because this extra income gives us permission to enjoy life a little bit more. We have more dinners out. We travel more. We have hobbies. We spend more, I do, on my grandkids. So instead of spending less in retirement, the people that are working part-time actually spend more, at least in the beginning. But then for some reason, the higher income households, those earning $150,000 or more, don't show the same bump. Their spending stays flatter. And just a guess, I'm going to say, if you're earning over $150,000 more, it's more than just a part-time gig. And if it's not, please let me know how you do that. But anyhow, so what does this mean for you? Well, if you're planning on retiring gradually or to retire on some part-time income, just be prepared for that little spending spike. Build it into your plan and just be aware of it. And here's the big one that they say is a shock. Now, I think this is typical, but they say spending is not consistent. It's volatile. In the years before and after retirement, over 60% of households experience a swing of over 20% or more, up or down, compared to their previous spending. So think about it. In our 20s to 20 to about 40-ish, we're spending a fair amount of money. We're just getting out on our own. We've got a new job. We have to get a new car. Oftentimes then we meet someone, maybe get married, have children, buy our first home. There is a fair amount of spending in those early years. Late 40s even to 50s were, for me anyhow, that was probably my highest of my working spending years. We bought new vehicles, we traveled a lot, we upgraded our home. So there was a lot of bigger purchases for us. And then into retirement for us, just simply because we travel so much, again, we have a bump in spending, but it's different. And again, because I work part-time, that spending is so volatile. 1 month we'll spend a ton, and then 1 month we're back at home and we're at the trailer doing not as much. So it's so volatile. It's up and it's down. And then finally, even people in their late 70s or 80s, they still seem to see a major shift in how much they spend year to year. Now that could be maybe a big medical bill, in particular for anyone that's in the US. Canada, we have it's not free, but free healthcare. So we don't have that same spending worry. It could have been a home repair. It could have been a wedding, sadly, a funeral, or just maybe it's a once in a lifetime trip. So the point is, retirement spending is not as predictable as we've been led to believe. We've been led to believe, here it is, there's inflation, and away you go. So your plan needs to be able to handle the bumps. Now, how do you use this information to your advantage? Well, first of all, ditch the flat spending estimate. Plan in phases: early retirement, mid-retirement, and later years. Again, they're called your go-go years, your slow-go years, and your no-go years, and adjust based on your lifestyle and your health. Expect volatility. Build in a buffer in your retirement plan, whether it's an emergency fund or maybe a few more liquid investments. Make sure you can handle surprises in any of these years. And number 3, don't underestimate the cost of freedom. If you're planning a fun and active retirement, especially early on, be honest with yourself about the cost. Now, having said that, you've earned it. Enjoy it. Don't feel guilty one little bit. Just plan for it. So just as a bit of a recap, retirement spending is curved, not flat. It's higher in partial retirement if you're working, especially if you're working part-time. You can give yourself permission to spend a little bit more, and it's volatile. Big swings are normal, even late in life. So this study challenges the traditional retirement advice. And honestly, I think that's a good thing, because retirement isn't about hitting just one magic number. It's about living fully. It's about living with confidence, finding out who you are, knowing that your plan fits your real life. So let me just ask you this. Are you planning for a flat retirement or a flexible one? Have you accounted for the curve, the spikes, the surprises? If not, now's the perfect time to revisit your plan, your budget, and your priorities. So drop me a comment. Let me know how your retirement is, if any of these 3 surprises caught you off guard, or which one have you already experienced. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more real talk about retirement. Now go make your retirement remarkable. I'm Maureen Dobransky. This is Life Starts at Retirement. I'll see you next week.